Hello and welcome to Abundant History. Today we will be exploring the impact of the Mongol Empire on world history. The Mongol Empire was one of the largest and most powerful empires in human history, and it had a profound impact on the development of world civilizations. Join me as we delve into the history of the Mongol Empire and explore its impact on the world. Genghis Khan was the founder of the Mongol Empire, 1206 to 1368, where he became the first great Khan or universal ruler of the Mongol people. By uniting nomadic tribes of the Asian steppe, he built a formidable army, consisting of fast, light, and highly coordinated cavalry. The empire extended its dominance from the Black Sea to the Korean peninsula, defeating armies in Iran, Russia, Eastern Europe, China, and many other places. The Mongols were expert horsemen and archers, making them unstoppable in Central Asia and beyond. The empire was divided among the descendants of Genghis into four khanates, and the most powerful of these was the Mongol Yuan dynasty in China, 1271 to 1368, founded by Kublai Khan. Over time, the Mongols became part of sedentary societies and converted from traditional shamanism to Tibetan Buddhism or Islam, losing part of their cultural identity and famed military prowess. This led to the four khanates succumbing to damaging dynastic disputes and the armies of their rivals. Despite not being renowned for creating any lasting architectural wonders or political institutions, the Mongols made a significant contribution to world culture by finally connecting the Eastern and Western worlds through expanded trade routes, diplomatic embassies, and the movement of missionaries and travelers from Eurasia to the Far East. The Mongols were nomadic pastoralists who inhabited the Asian steppe, rearing animals such as horses, camels, sheep, yaks, and goats. These tribes traveled with the seasons and lived in temporary camps of circular felt tents or yurts, zhuz. Mongolia's climate is generally severe, and as a result, clothing was designed to be warm, sturdy, and practical. Felt made from sheep's wool and animal furs were the most commonly used materials to create clothing, which was strikingly similar for both men and women. It included heelless boots, baggy trousers, a long jacket robe, deal, paired with a leather belt, and a conical hat with ear flaps. Meanwhile, undergarments were typically made of cotton or silk. The Mongol diet was mostly dairy-based with cheese, yogurt, butter, and dried milk curds, kurut, being staples. A mildly alcoholic drink, kumis, was made from mare's milk which was often drunk to excess. The herds being too valuable as a sustainable source of milk, wool, and even dung for fuel, meat was typically acquired through hunting and wild fruits and vegetables were gathered through foraging. To stock up for winter and provide meat for special feasts such as at the irregular tribal gatherings, special hunts were organized. At these events a strategy known as the nurge was employed where riders encompassed a huge area of steppe and slowly drove the game, anything from marmots to wolves, into an ever smaller area where they could be more easily killed by mounted archers. The techniques, organization, and discipline of the nurge would serve the Mongols well when they went to war. Most of these features of medieval daily life in the Mongol world are still continued today by steppe nomads across Asia. Although nomadic life generally saw men do the hunting and women do the cooking, the division of labor was not always so clear, and often both sexes could perform the tasks of the other, including using a bow and riding. Women tended animals, set up and packed away camps, drove the tribe's wagons, looked after the children, prepared foodstuffs, and entertained guests. Women had rather more rights than in most other contemporary Asian cultures and could both own and inherit property. Several women even ruled as regents in the spells between the reigns of the great Khans. Another area of Mongol life where women were actively involved was religion. The Mongols' religion did not consist of any holy texts or specific rituals, rather, it was a blend of animism, ancestor worship, and shamanism. They regarded certain natural elements such as fire, water, and earth, as well as notable physical features like mountains and weather phenomena, as possessing spirits. Shamans, who could be either male or female, could communicate with these spirits and travel through their world while in a trance state, assisting in locating lost souls and foretelling the future. Additionally, other religions existed among the Mongols, including Nestorian Christianity, and from the 14th century, Tibetan Buddhism, Lamaism, became popular, potentially due to its shamanistic components. Islam was also widely practiced in the Western Khanates. Despite this, the two main deities worshipped by the majority of the population were the earth or mother goddess, referred to as Echugen, Ichujin, who represented fertility, and Tungri, Gokmunki Tengari, the blue sky or eternal heaven. The latter deity was believed to be a protective god, and crucially, tribal elites believed that Tungri had granted the Mongol people the divine right to govern the whole world. Genghis Khan and his successors would put this belief into practice by conquering almost the entire continent of Asia, and constructing the largest empire in history up to that point. The Mongol nomads were a tough and highly mobile people who were trained from childhood to ride horses and shoot bows. They were skilled warriors who could endure long and complex campaigns, cover vast amounts of territory in a short time, and survive with minimal supplies. Women also played a crucial role in the army, as they provided the vital logistic support for their warrior husbands by making and transporting camps. Genghis Khan realized that if he could unite the various tribes and clans, the Mongols could conquer the world. Genghis Khan, also known as Chinggis Khan, was born as Temujin around 1162. He had a difficult childhood of abandonment and poverty but became an able military commander for Togril, chief of the Karait tribe. The Secret History of the Mongols, a 13th-century chronicle, provides the best primary source for the early empire. From 1195 to 1205, Genghis expanded his domain through diplomacy, warfare, and terror. He brought tribes such as the Tartars, Karaids, Naimans, and Merkids into line. Finally, in 1206, in a grand meeting of all tribal leaders, a Kurultai, Genghis was formally recognized as the Great Khan or universal ruler of the Mongols. To further unify his realm, Genghis made the spoken Mongol language into a written one using the Uyghur Turk script and introduced a lasting law code, the Yosa. The establishment of the Yam, a network of staging posts, greatly helped communication across the state. The empire had already begun to grow, but it was about to become even bigger. Mongol leaders had a tradition of maintaining their power by sharing the spoils of war with their loyal supporters, and Genghis Khan was no exception. The Mongol army was made up of 10,000 elite soldiers, who were part of the Khan's personal guard and held administrative positions throughout the empire. Additional troops were gained by conscripting Mongol tribes and through alliances with conquered territories. The light cavalry, armed with powerful Mongol composite bows, was the main offensive weapon. Mongol horses were also a valuable asset due to their strength and endurance, allowing riders to travel great distances with up to 16 spare mounts. After becoming Great Khan, Genghis targeted the Jin state in northern China, followed by the Tangut state and the Song dynasty China. These conquests were marked by the Mongol cavalry speed and tactics, which terrorized captured cities. Genghis then turned his attention to Western Asia and attacked the Persian Khwarezm Empire, capturing notable cities such as Bukhara and Samarkand. Muslims in the region dubbed him the Accursed One due to the destruction and massacres carried out by the Mongol army. Despite dying in 1227 of an unknown illness, Genghis' successors ensured that the Mongol Empire would continue to thrive and dominate Asia for many years to come. Genghis had decreed that his empire was to be divided amongst his four sons Jogchi, Chagatai, Chagadai, Tului, Tului, and Ogedai, Ogodai, with each ruling a khanate, although Jogchi would predecease his father in 1227. Ogedai became the new Great Khan, 1229 to 1241, and thus ruler of all the Mongols. The unified empire would endure until 1260 CE when the four khanates became fully autonomous, see below. Ogedai Khan further consolidated the Mongol state apparatus by appointing members of the imperial bodyguard and ministers as regional governors, Darakachi, conducting a census and imposing a proper tax system, as opposed to the mere confiscation of property. In 1235, a capital was selected, Karakoram, in Mongolia. The Yam network was expanded, wells were protected along trade routes, and traveling merchants were given military protection. In terms of conquests, Ogedai carried right on where his predecessor had left off and, with the help of the gifted general Subutai, aka Subutai, 1176 to 1248, known as one of the Four Hounds of the Khan, campaigned against the Jin in 1230 to 1. The Jin capital of Kaifeng fell in 1233, and the campaign of 1234 brought about the suicide of the Jin emperor, Aizong, 1224 to 1234, and the total and final collapse of the Jin state. Korea was repeatedly raided in this period, too. From 1235 Subutai coordinated the campaign across Central Asia, capturing such cities as Tiflis, Tbilisi. From 1236 to 1242, an army of 150,000 men organized in 5 separated divisions then marched through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan to attack Eastern Europe around the Volga River. Victories were gained against the Bulgars, Rus, Poles, and Hungarians in multiple campaigns. Seemingly coming from nowhere, the Mongol cavalry became known as the Horsemen of the Devil. Great cities like Kiev, 1240, Krakow, 1241, Buda and Pest, 1241, were all sacked and looted. It seemed that only Ogeday's death in 1241 saved Europe from further incursions, as the Mongol leaders were then compelled to return to Karakoram to elect a new Khan. The next 2 Khans would be Gayat Khan, r. 1246 to 1248, and Monkey Khan, r. 1251 to 1259, with regents ruling in between, but it would be Kublai, grandson of Genghis, who showed the greatest ambition as he took the Mongol conquests to a whole new level. Kublai Khan ruled from 1260 to 1294, but he had already established himself as a formidable leader during his campaign with Monkey Khan against Song China. Although he had to contend with his younger brother Arik Bok for the position of Great Khan, Kublai emerged victorious and became the ruler of the wealthiest part of the empire. However, he was not content with this title and sought to become the Chinese emperor. To achieve this, Kublai engaged in siege warfare, using superior catapults he had acquired from Western Asia, and over the course of 11 years, conquered city after city until the Song dynasty fell in 1276. The last Song resistance was defeated in a naval battle at Yashan in 1279, cementing Kublai's place in history as the first steppe nomad to conquer the immensely rich state of China. In 1271, Kublai declared himself the Emperor of China and established the Yuan dynasty, with Beijing as the new capital and Shangju as his summer retreat. Kublai proved to be a capable administrator, organizing his state into 12 provinces and promoting trade through beneficial taxation for merchants, paper money, and improved road and canal networks. Despite his successes, Kublai was not satisfied and launched 2 unsuccessful attacks on Japan and several invasions of Southeast Asia. These campaigns achieved mixed results and marked the beginning of the decline of the Mongol Empire. The eastern part of the Mongol Empire was the focus of the Great Khans, leaving the central and western parts to their own devices. The Golden Horde, led by Batu Khan, was established in the western Eurasian steppe in 1227 and lasted until 1480, when the Russians and Lithuanians gained power in the region. The Ilkhanate, led by Hulegu, was established in Persia in 1260 and was constantly threatened by the Mamluk Sultanate to the southeast, ultimately falling apart due to dynastic struggles in 1335. The Chagatai Khanate, led by Chagatai, was established in 1183 and was the most authentically Mongol state, struggling to abandon their nomadic roots. All 3 Western Khanates were plagued by territorial disputes and eventually adopted Islam as their official religion, which caused further disagreements. Timur took over the territories of the Ilkhanate and Chagatai Khanate, and the Ming dynasty took over China in 1368. The Mongols were eventually absorbed into the societies they had once conquered, leaving them just as vulnerable to takeover as any other state that failed to adapt to new ideas and technologies. Although the Mongols did not leave behind great art or architectural marvels, they did leave a significant impact on world culture by creating the first substantial connections between the East and West. As the largest contiguous land empire in history, the Mongol Empire covered 1/5 of the globe, and their soldiers were forced to fight against unfamiliar enemies such as Teutonic knights and samurai warriors. However, as ambassadors, missionaries, merchants, and travelers like Marco Polo were encouraged to move freely across Asia, contact between different cultures increased and ideas, religions, and inventions were spread. Europeans were introduced to gunpowder, paper, printing, and the compass, while Mongol cuisine, such as the Sulan broth stew, became popular throughout Asia. Unfortunately, the Mongols also unwittingly facilitated the spread of the Black Death, which had devastating consequences for Europe. Despite this, the Mongol Empire is remembered fondly in Mongolia as a golden era, and Genghis Khan, its founder, is still honored with regular ceremonies in the Mongolian capital of Ulaanbaatar. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the impact of the Mongol Empire on world history. We hope that you found this discussion informative and enlightening. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel for more content on history and its relevance to our modern world. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more engaging discussions in the future. Goodbye for now.